Hello, hello. What's up, Wing Chun? How you doing? Hey, Sal. Welcome back. What have you been doing? What's up, Benjamin? Nice of you to join. Oh, dang. Third. All right. And let's get into it. What's up, Losh? How's it going? Hey, Casey. Glad you could join. All right. So, announcement. Next week, there won't be a Monday stream, but there will be a Sunday stream. Will be a Sunday stream. And then the week after that, no stream. Okay. So next week, Sunday. The 2 weeks after that, no stream. All right. So stream in 6 days. Yeah. So it'll be Sunday the 22nd. At the same time. Same time. Same bat time. Same bat channel. What's up, Nikki? How's it going? Yeah. So yeah, and after the 22nd, we'll have 2 weeks of no stream. And then after that, back to normal. Okay, got it. All right, someone remind me to say that at the end too. What's up, rude noise? You will be on an airplane on Sunday. Cool. Where are you going? Sunday next week? Yes. That's Sunday the 22nd. All right, let's get to it. You going to New York? Hell yeah. That sounds fun. How long will you be there? What are you doing there? You gonna watch a Broadway show? Going back to Italy? Not quite. Going elsewhere. Hold on. Oh wait. Not even on cam. Hi. Hello. It's a work trip. Boo. Sad face. All right. Can we get through this quick? Let's do this in 2 minutes. Ray. Stummel? Stomp. Peter. No. Petco. Steep. No. Pete's coffee. Petey. Peta. Not the guy in Hunger Games? Peach. No. Speech. No. Pets. Spet. Fetch. Pitch. Petch. Is that a word? Petch. Pente. Sounds like a word. Penta. Spent. E T S. Spet. Pets. Fets. Plets. Pleats. Plet. Pleat. That's a word, right? All right, I gotta eliminate some consonants. Let's do lucky. It is a Y. Okay. Petty. 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 Yeah. Okay. Cool. Mr. Hideous. Good job. The New York style bagel is not good. What about New York pizza? What do you guys think about that? All right. New York pizza is not as good as Italian pizza. Whatever. All right, not looking at chat. Ship shape, inanimate, carbon, rod, glass, wooden, bracket, garnish, bus boy, trainee, flat, straw, blank hook, coaster, curtain. Flat, inanimate object, ship shape. Ship shape. Wooden, glass, flat, straw, bracket. Busboy, trainee. Blank hook. A bracket, a straw, a bracket for curtains. Like a bracket, a hook, a blank, a rod. Wait, a bracket, a hook, a rod, and curtain. Yeah. Like glass, wooden, ship shape, garnish, flat, straw. Blank, and flat. Oh, blank, flat, kind of wooden, and inanimate. Yeah? Ship shape, garnish, straw, carbon. I think so. Oof, yes. All right. Busboy, trainee, glass, straw, coaster, carbon, garnish, ship shape. Busboy, eh? Busboy, a trainee, glass, carbon, straw. What? Glass straw? A straw, a coaster? Garnish? A glass sits on a coaster. A glass, a coaster, a straw, and some garnish. No? What would this be? Busboy, trainee, ship shape, carbon. Ship shape. Bus boy. Oh, wait. Bus boy. Carbon. Train E. Wait. Bus, ship, car, and coast. Garn. Train. Train. That's right? Okay. What a drink is served with. Okay. We got this. We good. Ah, perfect. It has healthcare. These seems to be a real category. Carbon, yeah, car. It's a real. I think this is a real category. It's pretty good. It's not like the other weird ones that we've seen before. What's up, Psyduck? Ah, Psy Duck. You could be a word in connections. All right. Let's get through this quick. Let's see how long this takes, okay? Guess letter. Oh no, slow today. Word. Cabron. Nope, not a word. Carbon. Steel. Sword. Katana. Timer. Run. Go. Do. Jump. It. Science category. Scholar. Historian. University. Study. Clock. Cheese. Cheese. Food. Eat. Delicious. Yum. Alumni. Exquisite. Miraku. Pizza. Ooh, pizza. Dairy. Unhealthy. How about pepperoni? Wait, how do you spell pepperoni? Oh god. Pepperoni. Picture. Bacon. Burger. Party. Pizza is the highest. We got cheese. You got tomato. Sauce. Crust. Round. Toss. Huh. Share. Slice. I like that. No. How about soda? Pie. Diet. Pasta. Italy. Speaking of. Oh, nope. Pizza. Bun. Hot dog. Oven. Bake. Binge. Ice cream. One word. Cream. Ice. Alright. We're not moving beyond the pizza, guys. Box. Eat. It's not even that close. Pizza. Food. Snack. Candy. Chocolate. Bippity boppity. Gotcha. Hot. Eat. Think we tried that. Drink. Huh? Pizza. Come on. Meal. We got food. We got how about fridge. Lunch. Dinner. Poop. Fries. Healthy. Bread. Water. Maybe it has nothing to do with food. I'm gonna try random things. Computer. It's pretty high. Electronic. Flour. Junk. Wait. Junk. Chips. Drive through. Drive through. Politician. Why? Quiet. Water. Oh, quiet. Peace. Love. Serene. Oh, beautiful. Placid. Oh, okay. Peace. Peaceful. Calm. Comfortable. boring, delivery, solitary, zen, time, person, place. Oh, you want to do that? Person, place, thing, placid, meditation. Ooh. Calm. How about flat? Near, zone, far. We gotta do it wherever you are. Temperate, focus, docile, near. Where? Oh, close, proximity. Here, there. Oh, down, close. Next, neighbor, previous. Where, adjacent. Location, area, zone, district. Oh, okay, getting somewhere. State, community, periphery, located, place, garden, hut. Oh, Pizza Hut. Nope. It's an area, a zone, a what else? A zone, a neighborhood. Neighborhood. Oof, oof. Hood. Neighborhood. Park. Town. House. Dominoes. District. We tried that. County. Country. Nation. No, something smaller. Neighborhood, a zone, a park, a lot. HOA, crosswalk, neighbor, ghetto, ghetto. Okay, the hood, HOA, street, sector. Oh, neighborhood, a neighborhood, condo. Suburb. I like that. City. Suburb. Suburban. Oh, good job, Mr. Hideous. You got us like 99% of the way there. Good job. Suburban. All right. Nice work, you bastards. How is that related to pizza? You know, when you're living in a suburban place, you want to host a party, buy a bunch of pizza. Somehow less than 10 minutes? Hell yeah. We're excellent. All right. Today, what I have for you is this. Seems like hard candy. I don't know if I can do it while reading. Can you see? Is it too bright? It's a bunch of little, looks like little sakura blossom candies, hard candy. All there is to do in the suburbs is to eat pizza? True. I live in the suburbs. All right. I don't know if you can see. They're like little cherry blossom candies. Can't see. All right, hold on. Yeah, it is. You got white and you got pink. Looks like a pill. Hey, shh. Be quiet. Well, you didn't see it? It tastes like pretty much just sugar. Put my hand behind it? I can't. It's not gonna show because there's a light right there, so I gotta go like this. You can see it. Not much to see. There you go. How's that? You bastards. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, there you go. Alright. I'm gonna give that about a 6.8. 6.7. My skin is too lustrous. Oh. You're too much. Alright. Okay, you ready? Alright. What happened last week? So last week, if you remember, the Iron Palm sect members, they try to leave our heroes Guojing and Hongrong stranded on this boat in the middle of the river rapids, right? Now Guojing like just breaks the mast of the boat, and then he's putting it puts the Iron Palm sect members in trouble, and they intend to use the eagles to escape. In the chaos, the leader of the Iron Palm sect, Chu Qianren, he appears. And then the water kind of floods the deck, so it's too late to escape using the eagles. Hongrong and Guojing, they jump onto Chu Qianren's boat and they fight him, while the other boat sinks with its crew of Iron Sect members drowning. Okay, good riddance. In the middle of the battle, Hongrong finds Yinggu tied up in the boat, and she frees her. Yinggu tells her not to expect any thanks, but then she kills a bunch of the crew members. But then when they confront Chu Qianren, Yinggu not only refuses to help, she sees the love between Hongrong and Guojing, and she gets jealous. And then she helps Chu Qianren instead. So it's a 2-on-2 fight. However, during the fight, it seems like Yinggu, she hears Chu Qianren's laugh, and then she kind of goes berserk. She goes like, "It's you!" And she attacks Chu Qianren. Now, I think the implication is that Chu Qianren was the one who attacked her bebe before, if you remember. Yeah, so she's super mad. She finds, I think she found the person who attacked her kid, and she attacks him like crazy. She goes berserk. Chu Qianren manages to jump off the boat to shore, and he runs away. But Yinggu, she can't follow because the boat gets caught in a current. Hongrong gets one of their eagles to help them get to shore too, and then Yinggu runs away. The next morning, the eagles suddenly fly off like they saw some kind of enemy, and then they return carrying this bloody scalp. And Hongrong and Guojing were like, "Oh, that's weird," but then they just continue on like nothing happened. They run across this banquet, and Hongrong decides to harass the guests. Guojing has no idea what's going on, but she just harasses them. Afterwards, she reveals that she just wanted to do a bunch of fun stuff with Guojing before he goes off to marry his Mongolian princess. And Guojing feels super bad, and he promises to stay with her forever, and they get all lovey-dovey. And that's where we left off. How's that? Definitely not drugs. It's not drugs. I promise. Rock candy. It's not rock candy because like rock candy is very, very hard, right? It's not hard rock candy. It's very soft rock candy, I guess. Don't do meth and you haven't watched Breaking Bad. You haven't watched Breaking Bad? You gotta go and watch right away. One of the best shows ever. Okay, almost up there with Game of Thrones. There are a few kind of weird seasons, but overall, what a great show. You only know it for memes? You gotta watch it. Watch it with audio description? Wait, why? Yeah, Breaking Bad. First season was excellent. I think last season was also really good. And had like there are some shows that are really good, but then they can't stick the landing at the end. Okay. Game of Thrones. But Breaking Bad, perfect ending. Just ties it up in a neat little bow. Oh, it's so good. The guy who played Chu Chen-run in the series was the guy who played Han in Enter the Dragon. Gotcha. Game of Thrones is great except for the last 2 seasons. Game of Thrones is great. I'm going to say starting at the 5th season, it started to go downhill. Gotta say. But when did the Red Viper die? Was that season 4 or 5? I mean, that's a good scene. But I think starting at season 5, it started to go downhill. And the last season is almost unwatchable. Okay. Oh, one sec. Why can't I find my window? John and Danny had no chemistry. Yeah. It was not good. Alright. Where is my window? Hello? Okay. Are you ready? Chapter. Okay, it's a short chapter, so I'm gonna read the entire chapter instead of splitting it into 2. All right. It's only 15 pages. Also, they were related. You know what? I don't care about that anymore. Chapter 33: Impending Disaster. Okay, now I can't hear my sound effects. What? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay. I think we're good. At that moment, Guo Jing and Huang Rong were in high spirits. Okay, so remember, Guo Jing just promised to stay with Huang Rong. And had no intention of meddling in others' affairs. But when they heard the words old urchin, their hearts tensed. They leapt up and quickly gave chase. The two men ahead had only average martial skill, and hadn't noticed they were being followed. After running 5 or 6 li out of town, the two turned into a mountain pass. From behind the hill came the sounds of shouting and cursing. Guo Jing and Huang Rong increased their speed and followed them into the pass. There they saw a group of people gathered. 2 held torches, and in the center, Zhou Bo Tong sat on the ground, motionless, his state unclear, alive or dead. All right, you get to see Zhou Bo Tong again. Sitting cross-legged opposite him was another man in a bright red kasaya, the monk Lu Qi. He too sat completely still. To Zhou Bo Tong's left was a small cave with an opening narrow enough that one had to stoop to enter. Outside the cave, 5 or 6 men stood yelling and cursing, but none dared approach closer than 10 zhang, as if something dangerous might emerge from within. Guo Jing recalled that the night runner had said old urchin fell for Brother Peng's trick. Now seeing Zhou Bo Tong sitting there like a corpse, he feared something had happened to him and became anxious. He moved to charge forward, but Huang Rong grabbed his arm and whispered, "Wait until we're sure what's going on." The two crouched behind a boulder and examined the scene. They recognized all the men outside the cave. The old freak Liang Zuwang, Ghost Gate Dragon King Sha Tongqian, 1,000-handed butcher Peng Lianhu, 3-headed scaly dragon Ho Tonghai, and the 2 men they'd seen earlier that night. Okay, this is the crew of bad guys here. The firelight lit up their faces. Guo Jing recognized them as Liang Zuwang's disciples, whom he'd once fought when he was first learning the 18 dragon subduing palms. Huang Rong thought, "These men are no longer a threat to us. If things look like this, then Western Venom Ouyang Feng must be lurking nearby." Oh, true. They're so strong now that these guys are just like they're nobodies. She was about to suggest a way to find out for sure when she heard Peng Lianhu shout, "You bastard! If you don't come out soon, we'll smoke you out!" A voice from inside the cave replied coldly, "Bring out whatever dirty tricks you've got." Guo Jing immediately recognized the voice. It was his first master, Ku Jian-e. No longer concerned about Ouyang Feng's whereabouts, he shouted, "Master, your disciple Guo Jing is here." Okay, good job, Guo Jing. As his voice rang out, he leapt forward, and with one palm strike grabbed Ho Tonghai from behind and flung him aside. The sudden attack threw the crowd into chaos. Sha Tongqian and Peng Lianhu came at him side by side. Liang Zuwang tried to circle around for a sneak attack. Inside the cave, Ku Jian-e had heard everything clearly and launched the poison caltrop at Liang Zuwang's back. The hidden weapon sliced through the air with deadly force. Liang Zuwang quickly ducked, just in time. The caltrop flew over his scalp and sheared off several locks of hair. Cold sweat broke out on his back. He remembered too well the potency of Ku Jian-e's weapons. Peng Lianhu had nearly died from one of those. Panicked, he leapt a few paces back and reached into his robes for a bone-piercing dart, intending to shoot it into the cave in retaliation. But just as he raised his hand, he felt a sudden sting in his wrist. Ting! The dart dropped to the ground. A cheerful female voice laughed, "Kneel down, or it's stick time again." Liang Zuwang turned quickly and saw Huang Rong standing nearby, smiling, bamboo staff in hand. Shocked and angry, he threw a palm at her shoulder with his left hand and reached for her staff with his right. Huang Rong dodged the palm, but let him grab the staff. Liang Zuwang was delighted and tried to yank it away. He thought she would either let go or get dragged forward. But just as he pulled, the staff suddenly twisted and slipped from his grip. The end shot past his defense, and before he could react, the staff flashed before his eyes and smack, hit him square on the head. He was no pushover. He flipped away in time to avoid falling flat, rolled a few paces, then got back on his feet. He stared blankly at the pretty young girl who had just clobbered him. His head throbbed, his thoughts swirled, and he stood there, embarrassed and confused. Hongrong smiled and said, "Do you know the name of this staff technique? If you do, then you also know what you've just turned into." Years ago, Liang Zuwang had suffered at the hands of the dog-beating staff technique when Hong Qigong had beaten him half to death. Even now, the memory made his scalp crawl. He saw now that the staff was Hong Qigong's dog-beating stick, and the moves were authentic. And since it was his own head that got hit, he realized this girl must truly be Hong Qigong's disciple. Glancing around, he saw Sha Tongqian and Peng Lianhu being pushed back by Guo Jing, unable to do more than defend. He shouted, "For Hong Qigong's sake, let's retreat!" He called his two disciples and fled. Guo Jing elbowed Sha Tongqian back 3 steps and swept Peng Lianhu with his left palm. Sensing the power of the strike, Peng didn't dare take it head on and dodged. Guo Jing hooked his right hand around and seized him by the back, lifting him high into the air. Peng Lianhu flailed helplessly, his legs dangling. He tried to punch and kick, but his limbs had no strength left. Guo Jing raised his left fist to smash it into Peng's chest. In a panic, Peng Lianhu shouted, "Wait, what day is it today?" Guo Jing paused. "What? Are you a man of your word or not?" Peng Lianhu added. "What are you talking about?" Guo Jing asked, still holding him aloft. "We agreed to settle this at the Smoke Rain Pavilion on the 15th of the 8th month, Peng Lianhu said. "This isn't the pavilion, and it's not the 15th. How can you hurt me?" He's using logic. Guo Jing hesitated, thinking he made a fair point, and was about to release him, but then another thought struck him. "What did you do with my brother Zhou?" Peng Lianhu said. "Old urchin and that Tibetan monk were gambling on who could stay still the longest. What's it got to do with me?" Guo Jing looked again at the 2 motionless figures sitting on the ground and breathed a sigh of relief. "Oh, so that's what it was." He called out, "First Master, are you all right?" From inside the cave, Ku Zhenu let out a grunt in reply. Guo Jing didn't want to risk Peng Lianhu attacking when released. He flung him aside with a twist of his arm and said, "Get out of here!" Peng Lianhu used the momentum of Guo Jing's throw to leap away and land safely. Looking around, he saw that Sha Tongqian and Liang Zuwang had already fled into the distance. Cursing them inwardly for being unfaithful comrades, he clasped his hands toward Guo Jing and said, "In 7 days, we'll settle this at the Smoke Rain Pavilion." With that, he turned and raced off, lightness skill carrying him quickly away. Along the way, he was filled with bafflement. "Every time I see this kid, his martial arts have improved. What strange sorcery is this? Did he take some immortal elixir or obtain a divine manual?" Hongrong walked over to Zhou Tong and Master Ling Ji. Both men sat wide-eyed, glaring at each other, not even blinking once. Staring contest. Seeing this odd standoff and recalling the words of the night travelers, Hongrong realized it was one of Peng Lianhu's tricks. Fearing Zhou Tong's formidable martial arts, they must have goaded him into a competition with the Tibetan monk to see who could sit motionless the longest. Though Master Ling Ji was far inferior in skill, this method effectively immobilized Zhou Tong, leaving the others free to attack Ku Jian'e. The old urchin, delighted to have someone to play games with, and entirely without guile, had fallen for it. Though chaos raged all around, he sat like Mount Tai, not even daring to twitch a pinky, focused only on winning the bet. Yeah, Jobo Tong has a huge weakness. Huang Rong called, "Old urchin, I'm here." Jobo Tong heard her, but afraid he'd lose the bet, he didn't respond. Huang Rong continued, "You two could sit here for hours and still not know who wins. What's the point of that? Let me settle this for you. I'll tickle your waist at the same time. Same force, same spot. Whoever laughs first loses." Jobo Tong was growing restless. Hearing her suggestion, he was secretly delighted, but didn't dare show approval. Without further word, Huang Rong knelt between them, laid down her dog-beating staff, and extended her arms. Using both index fingers, she began to poke at the laughing waist acupoint on each of them. She knew Jobo Tong's internal energy far surpassed the monk's, so she played fair, applying equal pressure with both hands. But to her surprise, not only did Jobo Tong remain still, but Master Ling Ji also showed no reaction at all. She thought, "This monk's point sealing skill is really something. If it were me being poked like this, I'd be rolling with laughter by now." She increased her force. Jobo Tong tried to resist her finger strength with his internal energy, but the laughing waist point, located at the end of the rib cage, is that where it is? Was in a soft and hard to guard area. To counter her, he would have had to tense his waist, but doing so would count as movement and lose him the bet. Her fingers pressed harder and harder until finally he couldn't take it anymore. His muscles spasmed involuntarily. Flinging her finger away, he leapt up and burst into laughter. "Fat monk, you win! Old urchin admits defeat." Hong Rong was dismayed that he'd conceded so easily, and thought, "If I'd known, I should have pressed harder on the monk." She stood up and said to Master Lingji, "You won, so I'll spare your life. Now get lost." But the monk didn't react at all. Is he dead? She gave his shoulder a push and scolded, "What are you sitting there like a fool for? Want to die?" To her surprise, the monk toppled over with a thud, still in a cross-legged pose, like a wooden or clay Buddha statue. Jobo Tong and the others were stunned. Hong Rong thought, could it be that he sealed his own meridians so tightly he accidentally killed himself? She checked his breath, still steady. Then it hit her. She laughed and said, "Old urchin, you've been totally tricked, and you don't even know it. What a dope." Jobo Tong's eyes bulged. "What?" "Go unblock his pressure points and see for yourself," she said. Jobo Tong hesitated, then bent down and began tapping around. Soon he discovered that 8 of Master Lingji's acupoints had been sealed. He jumped up. "That doesn't count! That doesn't count!" "What doesn't count?" Hong Rong asked. He cried, "His allies sealed his pressure points after he sat down. Of course he wouldn't move even if we sat here for 3 more days. Let's go again." Ignoring him, Guo Jing, who had seen that Jobo Tong was safe and uninjured, remembered his worry for his master and ducked into the cave to check on Ku Jian'e. Jobo Tong busied himself unsealing Master Lingji's pressure points, muttering, "Let's go again! Let's go again!" Hong Rong asked coldly, "Where's my master? Where'd you toss him off to?" Jobo Tong froze. "Ah, crap," he yelped and sprinted toward the cave. He was going so fast that he nearly collided with Guo Jing, who was just emerging. Guo Jing helped Ku Jian'e out of the cave. The elder wore a white head wrap and white clothes. Guo Jing was startled. "Oh no, someone died?" "Master, what happened? Where are the other masters?" Wait, did everyone else die? Guojing grew more and more uneasy, but didn't dare press him. Then Jobo Tong emerged, helping out another man. This man had a gourd in one hand and half a chicken in the other. He was happily chewing on a drumstick and nodding with a grin. It was the nine-fingered divine beggar, Hong Qigong. Guojing and Hong Rong shouted joyfully, "Master!" Suddenly, Kuchanu's face twisted with fury. He raised his iron staff and swung it at the back of Hong Rong's head. The move was swift and vicious, a killer strike from the demon-subduing staff technique he had developed in Mongolia specifically to counter the blind Mei Chao Feng, exploiting the fact that she couldn't react fast enough to the sound of wind alone. Hong Rong, overcome with joy at seeing Hong Qigong, had let down her guard. By the time she realized someone was attacking, the wind from the staff had already enveloped her. Seeing the blow was about to crush her skull, Guojing panicked. His left hand lashed out and deflected the staff, while his right hand grabbed the tip. Distraught and unthinking, he had used too much force, and without realizing how much his martial arts had advanced, he had instinctively used a move from the 18 dragon subduing palms. Kuchanu felt a massive force surge toward him. Unable to resist, he lost hold of the staff and fell to the ground. Guojing was shocked. He quickly bent down to help Kuchanu up, calling repeatedly, "Master! Master!" But Kuchanu's nose was bruised and swollen, and 2 front teeth had been knocked out. Oof. He kicked his master's ass. He spat the blood and teeth into his palm with a ptui. Then coldly said, "Here you go." Guojing was stunned. He dropped to his knees and said, "The disciple deserves death. I beg master to punish me heavily." Kujano extended his palm again and said, "Here, take them." Guojing choked with sobs. "Master," he cried, not knowing what to do. Jobo Tong burst out laughing. "I've seen many things," he said, "but I've never seen a disciple beat up his master. This is great, just great." Kujano grew even more furious upon hearing this. "Fine," he shouted. "There's a saying, swallow your broken teeth with your blood. What would I give them to you for?" With that, he threw the 2 teeth into his mouth, tilted his head back, and swallowed them. Oh my god. Just ate his own teeth. Jobo Tong clapped and cheered. Hong Rong was alarmed. Something was clearly very wrong. Kujanu's expression was grim and resolute. She didn't know why he had suddenly tried to kill her, so she nervously moved closer to Hong Qigong and held his hand. Guojing knelt and cried, "Even if I deserved to die 1,000 times, I would never dare harm my master. It was a moment of confusion. I beg you to punish me." Kujanu snapped. "Master this, master that. Who is your master? You've got Peach Blossom Island's Master Huang for a father-in-law. What do you need a master for? What little skill the 7 freaks of Jiangnan have isn't worthy of being your teachers." Guojing could only keep kowtowing as Kuchanu's words grew harsher. Did everyone else die? What happened? Hong Qigong couldn't bear it any longer and stepped in. "Kudaxia, it's normal for accidents to happen in a sparring match between master and disciple. That move just now that Jing'er used on you, I taught it to him. So the fault lies with me, the old beggar. I offer you my apology." He bowed with respect. Jobo Tong thought he should join in and said, "Kudaxia is true. Accidents happen when masters and disciples spar. That move where Guojing grabbed your staff, I taught him that. So it's old urchin's fault too. I also apologize." He followed with a mock serious bow. Jobo Tong had only meant to join the fun, but Kujaneus was already seething with rage. He took Zhou's words as mockery, and even saw Hong Qigong's genuine apology as sarcasm. He shouted, "You people! The Eastern heretic, Western venom, Southern emperor, Northern beggar! Just because your martial arts are peerless, you think you can do whatever you want. I say, those who act unjustly shall not meet a good end." Jobo Tong was baffled. Hey now, what did the Southern Emperor ever do to you? Why lump him in too? Hong Rong could see that the situation was getting worse. With this wild old urchin around, things would only get more chaotic. She quickly interrupted. Old urchin, your Mandarin ducks fly together has come looking for you. Why don't you hurry up and go meet her? Jobo Tong jumped up 3 feet in shock. What? She wants to join you for a crimson bath in the cold of dawn, Hong Rong said slyly. Jobo Tong looked panicked. Where? Where? Over there, Hong Rong said, pointing south. She's waiting for you. I'll never see her again, Joe cried. Good girl. From now on, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. But please, don't tell her you saw me. Before he could finish, he had already dashed off to the north like a streak of smoke. Oh, he really doesn't want to see her. Hong Rong shouted after him. You promised. Don't go back on your word. From far away, Joe called back. Old urchin never goes back on his word. And with the word still echoing, he had vanished into the distance. Though she had hoped to trick him into going to find Yinggu, Hong Rong hadn't expected him to be so terrified of her. Still, at least he was gone now. Guo Jing remained kneeling in front of Kujana, tears streaming down his face. My 7 masters crossed the desert for my sake. Even if I die 1,000 deaths, I can never repay your kindness. This hand that offended you, I don't deserve to keep it. He drew his dagger and swung it toward his left wrist. Whoa. Kujano's iron staff shot out and blocked the blade. Though the sword was light and the staff heavy, the clash sent sparks flying. Kujano felt a tremor in his arm and knew Guo Jing had struck with all his strength, proof of his sincerity. Kujano said, Fine. In that case, you must do one thing for me. She never mentioned Yinggu. I don't know. Does he want him to kill Hong Rong? Guo Jing was overjoyed. Whatever you ask, master. I wouldn't dare disobey. If you don't agree, Kujano said coldly, then never speak to me again. Our master-disciple bond ends here and now. Guo Jing said, I will do my utmost. If I fail, I'll die trying. Kujano slammed his staff to the ground and shouted, And go cut off Huang Yaoshi and his daughter's heads and bring them to me. Nuh-uh. Guo Jing was utterly stunned. Master. What? Kujano barked. Guo Jing stammered. What offense did Master Hong commit against you? Kujano sighed. Humph! Then, through clenched teeth, he growled. I wish the heavens would give me just one moment of sight, so I could see the face of the ungrateful little beast you've become. He raised his staff and brought it down toward Guo Jing's skull. Okay. Good time for a break, I think. Yeah. Looks like everyone else died, huh? Of the 6 freaks. Alright. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Oh, you think her dad killed all of them? Because he still thinks she's dead? He saw her before they went to the Beggar's Clan. I think it might be because Guojing cancelled marrying Hongrong. Okay, so it could have happened. Yeah, maybe her dad did kill him. Huh, that would put him in a predicament, no? Because he would be duty bound to kill him. To kill Hong Yaoshi. Right. You know what? I wish. Okay. Yeah, Kujanu, just explain. He should just explain the situation. Why do you make Guojing promise without explaining everything? All right. People in these novels, they just need to communicate more. Just gotta say. All right. Hongrong had felt a foreboding when he mentioned making a request. Now, seeing him suddenly attack with full force, and Guojing not dodging, she leapt in. Her bamboo staff darted out. With the move, Vicious Dog blocks the path, sliding between Guojing's head and the descending iron staff. The staff twisted and coiled midair, redirecting the blow to the side. The move was exquisitely executed, and though Hongrong lacked great strength, she borrowed force through technique to deflect the strike. Martial people talk with their fists, not their mouths, apparently. Kujanu staggered back a step, then pounded his chest twice in fury, and took off running north. Oh god, he's not gonna explain. Guojing rushed after him, shouting, "Master, please wait!" Kujanu stopped and spun around, snarling, "You want to take this old man's life too, Guojing?" His face was twisted with rage. Guojing froze, unable to respond. He lowered his head as the sound of the staff tapping against the ground faded farther and farther away, until it disappeared entirely. Remembering the kindness and sacrifices of his master, Guojing collapsed to the ground in tears. Hong Qigong led Hongrong to his side and said, "Ke Daxia and old heretic Huang both have extremely strange tempers. They must have had some serious falling out. There's nothing for it. We'll have to leave it to this old beggar to smooth things over." Does Hong Qigong know what happened? Guojing wiped his tears and got up. "Master," he said, Do you know what this is all about?" Hong Qigong shook his head and said, "The old urchin was tricked into a contest where he had to sit absolutely still. Meanwhile, those scoundrels were out to kill me. Your master Ke ran into them outside Ox Village and helped me hide in this mountain cave. Relying on the deadly power of his poison caltrops, he kept them at bay. They didn't dare force their way in. That's how we managed to hold out this long. Ah, your master is a man of deep loyalty and righteousness. He stayed with me in this cave, guarding it against enemies, clearly ready to give up on his own life. Give up his own life." As he spoke, he took 2 long gulps of wine, stuffed an entire chicken leg into his mouth, chewed it 3 times, swallowed it down, and wiped the grease from his mouth with his sleeve before continuing. "Your sleeve? It's nasty." "The fight earlier was fierce, and with my strength lost, I couldn't help. When I finally saw your master, I hadn't even had a chance to say anything to him. Judging from how angry he looked, it clearly wasn't just because you accidentally knocked him down. He's a true man of chivalry. He wouldn't be so petty. Luckily, it's only a few days until mid-autumn, after the match at Misty Rain Tower. This old beggar will smooth things over for you." Guojing choked with emotion, repeatedly expressed his thanks. Hong Qigong laughed. "Ha ha ha ha! You two kids have improved a lot. Even Ku Xia, a well-known figure in the martial world, was left speechless by your moves. What's going on? Guo Jing felt ashamed and couldn't answer, but Huang Rong giggled and gave him a rough summary of all that had happened. Hong Qigong cheered loudly when he heard that Yang Kang had killed Ouyang Ke, and cursed when he learned how the beggar clan elders had been tricked by him. That little bastard! And those 4 old fools! Lu Youjiao's has got feet but no brains. As he heard about how Master Yi Deng had healed Huang Rong, Yinggu's midnight vendetta, and other events, he sat in stunned silence. But when Huang Rong mentioned how Yinggu suddenly went mad at Qinglong Rapids, his expression changed subtly, and he gave a quiet, "Huh." Master, Huang Rong asked curiously, you know Yinggu? She thought to herself, Master's never married. Could it be even he was once smitten with her? What's so great about Yinggu anyway? All gloomy and crazy, and yet she's charmed all these martial arts masters? Thankfully, Hong Qigong replied, nothing much. I don't know Yinggu, but I was by Emperor Duan's side when he renounced the throne and became a monk. One day he sent word from the south and invited me to come down. I figured it had to be something serious. He wouldn't trouble this old beggar otherwise, and I thought of Yunnan ham, crossing the bridge noodles, and sticky rice cakes. How could I resist? When we met, I saw that his spirit had withered. He was nothing like the lively man I remembered from the first Huashan tournament. It puzzled me. A few days after I arrived, he said he wanted to exchange martial knowledge. He offered to teach me Xiantian internal skill and Yi Yang finger. I thought to myself, back at Huashan, he fought me to a draw using Yi Yang finger against my 18 dragon subduing palms, Ouyang Feng's toad stance, and Huang Yaoshi's vacuum palm and finger flicking skill. And now he had learned Wang Chongyang's Xiantian skill on top of it all. Clearly, in the next Huashan tournament, he'd be a strong contender for the title of the number 1 in the world. So why would he offer to teach me these 2 supreme skills out of nowhere? Hong Rong doesn't know she's crazy too. Yeah. He said it was to exchange pointers, but wouldn't learn my 18 dragon palms in return. That was fishy. Later, I thought it over carefully and secretly discussed it with his 4 disciples. We finally figured it out. He planned to pass on his skills to me, then take his own life. As for why he was so heartbroken, his disciples had no idea. Hong Rong said, Master, he must have been afraid that after his death, no one could stop Ouyang Feng. Hong Qigong nodded. Exactly. Once I figured that out, I refused to learn his skills. Eventually, he opened up and told me the truth. Though his 4 disciples were loyal and diligent, they spent too long handling political affairs and couldn't fully devote themselves to martial arts. They couldn't reach the peak. As for the Shenzhen 7, their skills too had not reached the summit. If I didn't learn Yi Yang finger, that was one thing. But if the Xiantian skill were lost forever, he wouldn't be able to face Wang Chongyang in the afterlife. I realized he'd made up his mind, and persuasion would be useless. Only by firmly refusing could I save his life. In the end, he gave up and retired into monkhood. I was with him the day he shaved his head. It's been more than 10 years now. In the end, this tangled mess was resolved peacefully. That's a good thing. Now that we've told our story, Hong Rong said, it's your turn, Master. My story? Hong Qigong said, grinning. Oh, I raided the imperial kitchen 4 times and feasted on mandarin duck 5 delicacy slices, satisfied my cravings. Then I had lychee white kidney, quail soup, crispy snake tongue, ginger vinegar snails, oyster stuffed lamb tripe. He rattled off an endless list of royal delicacies, smacking his lips as he relished the memory. Hong Rong interrupted. So why couldn't the old urchin find you? Hong Qigong chuckled. The chefs in the palace kitchen started panicking when their dishes kept disappearing. They all thought a fox spirit had invaded. They burned incense and lit candles to appease it. Turns out they were worshipping me. Eventually, the head guard found out and sent 8 palace guards to catch the fox. I thought, oh boy, this won't end well. With the old urchin missing, I had no choice but to go hide somewhere remote. I ended up in a place called the Pavilion of Blossoms and Fragrance, filled with plum trees. It must be where the emperor enjoys flower viewing in winter. In that hot weather, no one ever came by, except for a few old eunuchs sweeping the grounds in the morning. It was peaceful, and I could recover quietly. The palace is full of food. Even 100 beggars wouldn't go hungry. I stayed there about 10 days. One night, the old urchin started howling like a ghost, barking like a dog, meowing like a cat, causing total chaos. Then I heard a voice shouting, Hong Qigong, Master Hong! Hong Qigong, Master Hong! I peeked outside and saw that it was that scoundrel bunch, Peng Lianhu, Sha Tongtian, Liang Zhuwang. Wait, Hong Rong said, puzzled. They were looking for you. I found it odd, too, said Hong Qigong. As soon as I saw them, I ducked away. But the old urchin spotted me and was overjoyed. He grabbed me and said, Thank heaven, I finally found you. He immediately ordered Liang Zhuwang and the others to cover our retreat. But why would they obey him? Hong Rong asked. Hong Qigong laughed. I was confused at the time, too. Turns out they were scared stiff of the old urchin. Whatever he said, they obeyed without a word. He had them guard the rear while he carried me to Ox Village, hoping to find you two. On the way, he told me he'd been searching for me everywhere. In desperation, he caught that bunch and beat each of them soundly. Then he made them search every alley and street for me, day and night. They had already searched the palace several times, but couldn't find me because it was too big, and I was well hidden. Hong Rong giggled. Who knew the old urchin had such a trick up his sleeve? He's got those villains totally under his thumb. Why didn't they just run away? Hong Qigong laughed. He had his own mischievous methods. He scraped off grime from his body, rolled it into about a dozen filthy pills, and forced each of them to swallow 3. That is disgusting. Then he said the pills were deadly poison that would take 49 days to activate, and only he had the antidote. If they obeyed, he'd give it to them on the 48th day. Those scoundrels weren't sure whether to believe him, but who would gamble with their lives? They figured better safe than sorry and followed his every command. They didn't dare disobey. Guo Jing couldn't help but laugh along as Hong Qigong told the story. Hong Qigong continued. After we got to Ox Village and still couldn't find you two, the old urchin kept forcing those villains to go out searching. Last night, they all came back looking dejected. He cursed them soundly. In the middle of his scolding, he suddenly said, If you lot still can't find Guo Jing and Hong Rong tomorrow, I'll piss out a batch of mud pills for you to eat. That line made them suspicious. They started questioning him, and the more he said, the more he slipped up. Well, it might be poison in a way. It's actually very poisonous, yeah. Eventually, they realized they'd been duped. The pills they took weren't poison at all. I knew things had become dangerous. That gang of crooks would be big trouble if left alive. I told the old urchin to kill them all and be done with it. But Peng Lianhu had figured things out too and used the trick. He got that fat Tibetan monk to challenge the old urchin to a meditation contest. I couldn't stop them. and had no choice but to flee from Ox Village. Outside the village, I ran into Master Ke. He helped me escape to this place. But Peng Lianhu and the others chased us all the way here. The old urchin, foolish as he is, knew he couldn't let me out of his sight, so he followed. Those villains kept goading him with words, and eventually he couldn't hold back and accepted the monks' challenge. Huang Rong, hearing all this, was both exasperated and amused. If we hadn't shown up in time, she said, your life would have been lost thanks to that old urchin. Hong Qigong said with a chuckle, ha ha ha. My life was borrowed to begin with. Doesn't matter who I return it to. Suddenly, Huang Rong remembered something. Master, that day when we returned from Mingxia Island, Hong Qigong interrupted. It wasn't Mingxia Island. It was Demon Suppression Island. Hong Rong smiled slightly. Fine, Demon Suppression Island it is. Either way, Ouyang Ke's become a ghost now. That day, when we rescued Ouyang Feng and his nephew on the raft, I heard the old poison toad say, there's only one person in the world who can cure you, but he's a supreme martial artist. Force won't work, and you're too proud to beg for help. At the time, you wouldn't tell us who he meant, but now that we've been to Xiangxi, of course we know. Other than the former Emperor Duan, now Master Yi Deng, there's no one else it could be. Hong Qigong sighed. Hey, if he used Yi Yang finger to open my 8 extraordinary meridians, it could indeed cure me, but doing so would severely deplete his energy. It'll take 3 to 5 years to recover. Even if he doesn't care about winning or losing the next Huashan tournament, he's already over 60. How many more years does he have left? How could I bear to ask such a favor? Guojing said happily, But Master, this is good news. You don't need anyone else. Those meridians can be opened by your own effort. Hong Qigong blinked. What's that? Huang Rong said, Brother Jing memorized that mouthful of Jili Gulu Gulu Jili. Master Yideng translated it and taught it to us. He asked us to tell you. It's a method you can use to open your meridians yourself. She recited Yideng's translated instructions. Hong Qigong listened intently, then thought for a while. Suddenly, he leapt up, beaming. Marvelous! Marvelous! Seems like this method really might work. But it'll take at least half a year, maybe more, to show results. Hong Rong said, At the Misty Rain Tower duel, they'll definitely invite Ouyang Feng to support their side. The old urchin might not be weaker than him, but he's unpredictable. Who knows what he'll do in the heat of battle? We'll need to go to Peach Blossom Island and ask my father for help. Only then will we be certain of victory. Hong Qigong agreed. That's true. I'll head to Jiaxing first. You two go to Peach Blossom Island. Guojing insisted on escorting Hong Qigong to Jiaxing first. But Hong Qigong said, I'll ride your little red horse. If trouble comes, this old beggar just has to spur the horse and no one will catch me. He mounted, took a deep swig of wine, and didn't even squeeze his legs. The little red horse neighed loudly at the two of them, as if saying farewell, and galloped off northward. Guojing stood watching until their master vanished from sight. But thoughts of Kujan'e trying to kill Huang Rong still weighed on him, leaving him heavy-hearted. Huang Rong didn't try to comfort him. She just boarded a small boat, raised the sail, and set course for Peach Blossom Island. Once they arrived, they sent the boatmen away. Then Huang Rong said, Brother Jing, I want to ask you something. Will you promise me? Guojing replied, Tell me first. Just don't ask for something I can't do. Hongrong smiled. I'm not going to ask you to cut off your 6 masters' heads. Well, they're all dead, Hongrong. They're dead. Guojing frowned. Wronger, why bring that up again? Hongrong said. Why shouldn't I? You might forget it, but I can't. I may love you, but I still don't want to end up with my head chopped off. Guojing sighed. Hey, I really don't understand why Master Ke is so furious. He knows you're the one I love most in this world. I'd rather die 1,000 times than harm you in the slightest. Hearing the sincerity in his words, Hongrong was moved. She held his hand, leaned against him, and pointed toward a row of willow trees by the water. Brother Jing, don't you think Peach Blossom Island is beautiful? Guojing said, It really is like a place where immortals live. Hongrong sighed. I just want to stay here forever. I don't want to be killed by you. Guojing stroked her hair. Good Wronger, how could I ever kill you? What if your 6 masters, your mother, your good friends, if all of them pressured you to kill me, would you do it? Guojing answered firmly. Even if the whole world turns against you, I will always protect you. Hongrong squeezed his hand tighter. Would you really give all of them up for me? Guojing hesitated. Hongrong tilted her head slightly and gazed into his eyes, her face filled with worry, waiting for his reply. Guojing said, Wronger, I've told you I'd stay with you on Peach Blossom Island for a lifetime. When I said that, I already made up my mind. It wasn't just some spur-of-the-moment promise. Hongrong replied, Good. Then starting today, you won't leave this island again. Guojing was surprised. Starting today? Hongrong nodded. Starting today, I'll ask Father to go to Misty Rain Tower and help in the fight. I'll go with him to kill Wen Yen Honglia and avenge your father. I'll go with him to Mongolia and bring your mother back. I'll even ask him to apologize to your 6 masters. I want to make sure there's nothing left weighing on your heart. Guojing saw her expression was very strange and said, Wronger, I never say anything I don't mean. You can trust me. There's no need for this. Hongrong sighed. The affairs of the world are hard to predict. When you promised to marry that Mongolian princess, you didn't think you'd regret it one day, did you? Before, I only cared about doing whatever I pleased. Now I've realized, just when you think things are going well, fate comes along and messes everything up. As she said this, her eyes turned red, and she lowered her head. Guojing said nothing. His thoughts churned, seeing how deeply Hongrong loved him. He felt he should indeed stay with her on the island for life, but to cast aside all worldly matters just like that, it didn't seem right. Still, he couldn't quite say what exactly felt wrong. So you guys think she knows that the masters are dead? Hongrong said softly, It's not that I don't trust you, and it's not that I want to force you to stay. It's just that I'm terribly afraid. As she spoke, she suddenly collapsed onto his shoulder and began to sob. This caught Guojing completely off guard. He was stunned for a moment, then quickly asked, Wronger, what are you afraid of? Hongrong didn't answer, only cried softly. Since they'd met, they'd gone through countless dangers together, and she had always kept her smile and composure. Now that she'd returned to her home, about to reunite with her father, why would she suddenly be so frightened? Are you afraid something might happen to your father? Guojing asked. Hongrong shook her head. Are you afraid that once I leave the island, I'll never come back? She shook her head again. Guojing asked several more times, but she always shook her head. After a long while, Hongrong finally lifted her face and said, Brother Jing, I can't really say what I'm afraid of, but when I think about how your master looked when he wanted to kill me, I can't help feeling panicked. I keep thinking one day you'll follow his words and kill me too. So, I'm begging you, please don't leave this place again. Just promise me that. Guojing smiled. So that's what this is about. That day in Beijing, didn't my 6 masters also call you a little demoness and whatnot? But I still left with you, and nothing came of it. My 6 masters may seem fierce, but deep down they're very kind. Once they get to know you, they'll definitely like you. Second master's skill at picking pockets is amazing. You should learn it from him. It'd be so much fun. He's dead. And seventh master is gentle and easygoing. He's dead too. Huang Rong interrupted. So you're saying you're definitely going to leave this place? Guo Jing said. We'll leave together. We'll go to Mongolia to get my mother, kill Wen Yan Honglia together, then come back here together. Wouldn't that be great? Huang Rong muttered. If it's like that, then we'll never come back together. We'll never stay together for life. Guo Jing was baffled. Why not? Huang Rong shook her head. I don't know, but when I saw how your master looked at me, I could just tell. It wouldn't be enough for him to just kill me. He hates me down to the bone. When Guo Jing saw the look in her eyes as she said this, it was as if her heart had already broken. Though she still had that youthful innocence in her face, there was something in her expression that seemed to foresee an impending disaster. He thought, she's always had good instincts. If I don't listen to her now and something terrible happens to her later, what then? At this thought, a wave of sorrow welled up, and, without another care, the words burst from his mouth. All right, I won't leave this island. No. Huang Rong stared at him for a long time, and then 2 streams of tears slowly rolled down her cheeks. Guo Jing asked softly, Rong what else do you want? Huang Rong said, What else do I want? Nothing. I don't want anything else. Her delicate brows lifted as she cried out, If I ask for more, even the heavens won't allow it. Then, with a graceful sweep of her sleeves, she began to dance beneath the flower trees. Okay. As she turned, her golden bangles gleamed in the sun. As her arms raised, her white robes flowed in the wind. Her dancing grew faster and faster, and from time to time she reached out to shake the flower trees. Petals of red, white, yellow, and purple fell like a flutter of butterflies, spinning around her in the breeze. It was a breathtaking sight. After a while, she suddenly leapt into a tree, then bounced from branch to branch, her movements blending the footwork of swallow pair in flight and the falling blossom divine sword palm. Her joy was beyond words. No, thank God. I thought she was gonna sing. Guo Jing thought, Mother once told me stories of celestial maidens who lived in the fairy mountains of the eastern sea. But how could any mountain be more beautiful than Peach Blossom Island? How could any fairy compare to Rong? All right. Cool. How's that? How's that chapter? Something tells me he's not going to stay on the island forever. Just an intuition. Yeah. His other masters definitely died, right? That's why Kujano was wearing the morning clothings. The morning clothing. Yeah. And I think you're right, Casey. I think her dad killed all of them. Oof. What is he going to do? We don't know. Duty or love? Alright. No drink today. Well, I have this. Cheers. Oh, he was framed again? He Could be. But wouldn't that make for a better story? Where Hong Yoshi was not framed, he actually killed him. I think I would like that better. But you're right. It could be that he was framed again. Because no one in this universe fucking communicates. My goodness. It's like misunderstanding after misunderstanding. Just take a seat. Just slow down. Take a seat. Talk it through, guys. Alright. Our announcement. Re-announcement. Remember, next week. Next week, no stream on Monday, but the stream is on Sunday. Sunday, June 22nd, okay? Same time. Then afterwards, 2 weeks of no stream. Okay, and then we'll continue. After that, we'll continue as usual on Mondays. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. I love you. I'll see you next time. All right, bye.